Hello, my name is Maria Garces, and today is April 17, 2024, and I'm also an artist from Medellin, Colombia. As I said, I was born and raised in Colombia. However, I'm currently in the US finishing my undergrad and studies on fine arts, specifically painting and museum studies. How has this impacted my life and also what I do in my studio? A lot. I have been in the US before, however, I have never lived here before, especially by myself. So the first couple of years was really lonely for me. So I felt really, alone. So it definitely shaped the way that I perceived things. The cultural shock was really big, and it made me think a lot more and analyze the things that I missed about my culture and my country, and how I was already attached to some of those specific little things, and how they were so different from the US and American lifestyle. Basically, my dad, he saw an ophthalmologist. That's a weird fact to say, but I feel that growing up, seeing all of the different eye books and magazines definitely created this interest on almost eyes and creepy stuff. I like slimy things, and I like to portray some of that and some of those characteristics in my work, even though it's not super literal, but I just enjoy that scary, almost gory feeling in a piece. I work a lot with self-depiction. That means that I like to paint a lot myself. I don't know, I just feel it's easier to, if you're gonna express your feelings and express a position about the media that surrounds you, about society and the things you see, it's better to use your body, your face, and yourself to talk about it, and not other people's bodies or faces. I also like to think of my work as my alter ego, which is a different character from myself. It's this fearless person of almost commenting on the things that I feel I wouldn't talk that openly with crowds of people. But I would say that my biggest role model would be my mom. She's not an artist, but she's always pushing me to be more creative and to dream big. I am a person who gets scared really easily, so the fact that she's always pushing me and then being like, oh, we'll figure it out later, it's really rewarding, because it's basically thinking with no limits first and then figuring it out, which is helpful in that sense. In terms of artists, my biggest and most artists are Sasha Gordon, Jenny Saville, Matisse, and Francis Bacon. Currently, I'm working a lot with printmaking. I am exploring a lot the different ways of printmaking, carving, and all of its variations. It's definitely really different from the painting process and my creative process, just because I feel I'm such a messy creator and more of a going with the flow and see how it goes and plan as you go. And this is more of planning, science, and then do, which is a little bit different, but I'm really enjoying it. I also, again, as I said, like to play with a figure, and I'm also playing with this idea of basically not thinking of pieces as finalized pieces, just because I feel it adds more stress and more fear with what you're creating, with the process that you're following, but thinking of more of just a process that almost connects with you in some way as a creator. So I like to take this idea of finalized pieces and then cut them, which can be a little bit scary. However, I really enjoy it, and then putting them back together, creating something completely different, almost like a tapestry. I would say that the biggest challenges of being an artist would be obviously brain fog. just like I have been doing in this video, recording. I think that brain fog and not having ideas is one of the scariest things, just because as creatives, we're always trying to come up with something new, and it can be intimidating not being able to produce the same amount of work you're creating or come up with good quality ideas all the time. Also, I would say the insecurity or fear of the quality of work you're making. I think that when you feel that way about yourself, it shows a lot in your practice and what you're doing. You limit yourself as an artist, you limit yourself in terms of exploration, and you start thinking more about the result instead of being inspired by the process and the idea you're standing by for the process. Unconventional mediums. I think that the weirdest thing I have ever used so far, it's not that weird, it was a couple of months ago. I used old t-shirts and GAC 400 Golden's medium. I don't know if people are used to it, but it's basically like a powerful fabric stiffener. And I used it just because I wanted to create with this piece something that talked a little bit more about mental health and how I personally sometimes wish that I could change my bad behaviors and my thinking patterns as fast and as quick as I change my clothes and get rid of stuff. I'm a really minimal person, so whenever I feel that I'm getting cluttered, I get frustrated and basically give clothes away, give stuff away, get rid of stuff. So being able to change those negative patterns the same way as I change clothes. So I stiffened some of my old clothes for this piece. It was really fun. During my studio time, I mostly listen to music. Different genres, mostly Spanish, but yeah, a lot. I also like to dance when I create. I don't know, it makes me happy. It makes me more loose, and yeah, it gets me on the groove and connect with myself. I usually, not that common, I rarely do this, but I like to watch my comfort shows, which is Modern Family, Grey's Anatomy, the good old basics. And sometimes I also watch documentaries. I find them really interesting, but it has to be something interesting. It cannot be about crime or something common that it's gonna bore me and have like the same pattern or plot. But yeah. And the final question, which is my favorite: what reactions do people have to my work? I get a lot of funny reactions. One time a professor told me her reaction to one of my pieces was, "I think this would look great on a bathroom." It sounds like an insult, but it's not. It was a painting of me in a shower. So she was like, "Oh, this would look great like on a bathroom," which I thought it was cool. People also say, like, I got rejected from a show once just because they said in nice words that my work was too creepy and it could scare kids, which I thought it was funny just because that's part of the intention that I like to go with. But oh well, it's doing the job, I guess. People also say it's disturbing, but in a good way. And my favorite one, it's so visceral and violent. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening.